They've got the stars, they've got the money, and now they've finally got the Champions League. Just a few seasons ago, most football fans considered PSG a joke, a flashy cash-burning machine from a farmers' league doomed to never touch Europe's biggest trophy. And the hate? Well, there was plenty of it. Nobody liked them. Was it all because of the oil money? Their attitude? And has anything actually changed? Hi, I'm Max, and this is La Pausa. Here, we don't just watch football, we try to understand it. Today, we'll dive deep into PSG's story, through the hate, through the failures, and figure out if they finally managed to escape their past. To truly understand PSG, we need to go back to the very beginning, Paris 1970. For years, the French Football Federation and local businessmen had been obsessed with creating a top-tier football club to represent the capital. The goal was clear: bring elite-level football back to the heart of France. Actually, Paris already had a team founded just a year earlier in 1969, a small semi-amateur club called Paris FC. Despite decent financing and strong connections, they lacked one crucial thing: experience at the highest level of professional football. So, the federation looked to the suburbs and found Stade Saint-Germain, a club competing in France's second division. Their biggest achievement was reaching the quarterfinals of the Coupe de France in the 1968-69 season, only to be knocked out by Olympique de Marseille. Maybe not the flashiest choice, but it was ideal for the federation's needs: experience, solid sporting infrastructure, and a well-developed training center. The only condition for this merger was simple: the new club had to keep Paris in its name. Both clubs agreed, and on August 12, 1970, Paris Saint-Germain was officially born. The idea was ambitious, the vision was clear, but things didn't exactly go according to plan. At the end of the 1970-71 season, PSG successfully reached the top division alongside Monaco and Lille, but their first year in the elite was rough. In the 1971-72 season, PSG finished in 16th place, and soon after, financial struggles forced a split. Paris FC stayed in the first division, while PSG dropped to amateur status and fell all the way down to the third division. However, PSG quickly bounced back. By the 1973-74 season, they reached the quarterfinals of the French Cup, and the following year they returned to the top division, for good this time, despite briefly flirting with relegation again in the 1974-75 season, ultimately finishing 15th. As for Paris FC, ironically, they slipped down to the second division in the same season that PSG returned to the elite. Through the 80s and 90s, PSG started tasting success. In 1982, they secured the French Cup. In 1983, they retained it and added a third-place finish in the league. In 1986, under coach Gerard Houllier, PSG finally claimed their first French league title with an impressive 26-match unbeaten streak. The 1990s brought even more triumphs under French Cup, second-place league finishes, semi-final runs in the UEFA Cup in 1992 and 93, and Cup Winners' Cup in 1993 and 94, and a second league title in the 1993-94 season. Summer 2000. PSG launched an ambitious new project, PSG Banlieue, backed by their main investor, Canal+. The goal was clear: win League 1 and at least make it to the semi-finals of the Champions League. It was a big transfer window. PSG signed Nicolas Anelka, Peter Luchin, and Stéphane Dalma. Expectations sky high. Fans excited. The results? Disaster. They finished 9th in the league and were knocked out early in European competitions. And it got even worse financially. By 2003, PSG was drowning in debt. A 65 million euro deficit forced Canal+ to fire coach Luis Fernandez and president Laurent Pépère. They brought in Vahid Halilhodžić as coach and Francis Grail as president, hoping it would fix things. But it didn't. PSG kept sinking, the team kept losing, and eventually Canal+ had enough. So in 2006, they sold the club to Colony Capital. New owners, same story. Average football, close calls with relegation, and some occasional victories in the Coupe de France. But overall, things stayed pretty rough. Kinda gives off Glazer Man United vibes, huh? Only at the start of the next decade did PSG finally show signs of life. In the 2010/11 season, they climbed to 4th place, and the following season, they finished 2nd. It finally seemed like PSG was turning the corner, but something much bigger was about to change everything. After 2 solid years under Antoine Camboire and Robin Lepro, PSG's fortunes changed dramatically in 2011 when Qatar Sports Investments, QSI, bought the club. Overnight, PSG went from average to ridiculously wealthy, promising to win the Champions League and dominate French football. With club legend Leonardo back as sporting director, PSG went on a historic spending spree, signing players like Javier Pastore and later Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Thiago Silva, and even David Beckham. Yeah, that happened. Zlatan scored 30 goals, finally bringing PSG the league title after 19 years. Success continued with high-profile signings such as Edinson Cavani and David Luiz, breaking transfer records and hearts of rivals. Despite domestic dominance and winning everything available in France multiple times, PSG's European dream remained a dream. The low point? The infamous La Remontada against Barcelona, losing 6-1 after winning the first leg 4-0. Ouch. In response, PSG broke the world transfer record for Neymar, €222 million, and grabbed teenage sensation Kylian Mbappe for another eye-watering fee. They reclaimed French dominance but kept tripping up in Europe, eventually losing to Real Madrid in the Champions League again. Thomas Tuchel managed to bring PSG to the Champions League final in 2020, but lost to Bayern Munich thanks to an ex-PSG player scoring the winner. Classic PSG luck. Then, in 2021, PSG went all out. Hakimi for €60 million, plus free transfers of Ramos, Wijnaldum, and Donnarumma. Oh, and a certain Lionel Messi joined because Barcelona couldn't afford him anymore. Despite winning League One again, no surprises there, PSG still struggled in Europe. So yeah, PSG. Tons of cash, loads of trophies, plenty of drama, and still chasing that elusive European glory. I guess it's time to talk about the other side, the hate. Because no matter how many goals they score, how many jerseys they sell, or how many Instagram followers they gain, there's always that one comment under every PSG post. Plastic Club. And honestly, it's kind of understandable. First, the Plastic Club thing. Unlike clubs with decades of gritty history, rusty stadium seats, and fan loyalty passed through generations, PSG feels manufactured. A club born in 1970, rebooted in 2011 with massive oil money, acting overnight like Europe's royalty. For many fans, that's like showing up to a local street race in a Ferrari. Impressive, but also kind of unfair. Next up, the cash. When you spend €500 million on Neymar and Mbappe, people expect miracles, not early exits and memes about bottling big games. Football loves underdogs like Leicester and Villarreal. PSG, it's like playing FIFA career mode with an unlimited budget. And then there's the Champions League curse. PSG have the stars, the money, and even substitutes who easily start at other clubs. Yet every year, they find new ways to embarrassingly crash out. Remember Barcelona's 6-1 comeback? Manchester United's unlikely upset? Or Bayern winning thanks to a former PSG academy player? Painful and perfectly PSG. The arrogance doesn't help either. When your president talks about changing football forever and your stars show up like they're auditioning for a fashion show, fans notice, and they don't like it. Confidence is fine, but first win something big before acting like you run the game. They ruined the market! Other clubs grumble, coaches complain, UEFA shrugs. PSG didn't just break transfer records, they obliterated them. Now every young player thinks they're worth millions, making football feel less accessible and more corporate. So yeah, the hate is pretty understandable. And mostly, it's down to the huge sums of money and questionable partnership deals that turned PSG into a football giant almost overnight. The more PSG flex their financial muscle, the more fans resent their rise. Here's what I think. The Pandora's box wasn't opened by PSG. It started with Real Madrid with their Galacticos projects. Then came City and was pushed even further by PSG. Let me know if you'd like a video about football inflation and how we got here. But can we really say money buys skill? Sure, it can influence rules. Financial fair play seems to target only Everton. But let's look at Manchester United. Since 2012, they spent nearly as much as PSG yet achieved far less success. It's honestly tough watching what that club has become. Hopefully, Amorim can help them back to the top. Even Tottenham is among the top spenders, and Chelsea has splashed even more cash, yet both clubs still struggle to find consistent success. So, it all comes down to smart management and talent? For years, PSG felt like a place where players and managers went to show off rather than build a team with a clear strategy. Having resources isn't enough, it's about using them wisely. Sure, money has helped many clubs rise from mediocrity, but it's always a combination of resources, intelligence, and skill. Football has undeniably changed, whether we like it or not, and it'll be fascinating to see where it goes next. 2025 was a turning point. Under Luis Enrique and after Mbappe left, PSG finally reached their true potential, dominating Europe. This season, their football was genuinely impressive and enjoyable to watch. It's the combination of resources, intelligence, and skill. Finally, they've got their hands on Europe's biggest prize, and honestly, I'm happy for them. Well deserved. Plus, they have Luis Enrique. Seriously, how can you dislike that guy?